ਸਤਿ ਸ਼੍ਰੀ ਅਕਾਲ ਸਵਾਗਤ ਹੈ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਸਾਰਿਆਂ ਦਾ ਇਨ ਫੋਕਸ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਕੈਨੇਡਾ ਤੋਂ ਕੋਵਿਡ-19 ਅਪਡੇਟਸ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਮੈਂ ਜਸਟੀਨ ਕੌਰ ਇੱਕ ਵਾਰੀ ਫਿਰ ਤੋਂ ਹਾਜ਼ਰ ਹਾਂ। ਕੈਨੇਡਾ ਵਿੱਚ ਕੋਰੋਨਾ ਵਾਇਰਸ ਦੇ 95,942 ਕੇਸਿਸ ਹੁਣ ਤੱਕ ਪੋਜ਼ਿਟਿਵ ਕਨਫਰਮ ਹੋ ਚੁੱਕੇ ਨੇ। 55,000 ਦੇ ਕਰੀਬ ਕੇਸਿਸ ਰਿਕਵਰ ਹੋ ਚੁੱਕੇ ਨੇ ਅਤੇ 7,824 ਡੈਥਸ ਹੁਣ ਤੱਕ ਰਿਪੋਰਟ ਹੋ ਚੁੱਕੀਆਂ ਹਨ। ਇਹ ਅੰਕੜੇ ਹਾਲੇ ਵੀ ਲਗਾਤਾਰ ਵਧ ਰਹੇ ਹਨ। प्रधानमंत्री जस्टिन ट्रूडो ने आज कैनेडा US बॉर्डर रिस्ट्रिक्शन संबंधी नवा ऐलान किया। इस दे नाल ही ओंटारियो वालों रीओपनिंग की सैकेंड स्टेट संबंधी भी कुछ नवे ऐलान किए गए। ऐसे ते आधारित रहेगी साडी अज दी खास पेशकश। प्रधानमंत्री जस्टिन ट्रूडो ने आज ऐलान किया कि US सिटीजनस और परमानेंट रेजिडेंट्स लिमिटेड एग्जैम्पशन अधीन कैनेडा एंटर हो सकते हैं। जो भी कैनेडा एंटर होएगा उसनों 14 डेज क्वारंटीन एक्ट फॉलो करना लाजमी होएगा। जेकर इसनों कोई फॉलो नहीं करता तो उसनों सीरियस पेनल्टीज का सामना करना पै सकता है। जिक्र हो गया कि यह लिमिटेड एग्जैम्पशन सिर्फ इमीडिएट फैमिली मैंबरस ਲਈ है ਅਤੇ कैनेडा US बॉर्डर नॉन एसेंशियल ट्रैवल ਲਈ 21 जून तक बंद है।
This is an incredibly difficult time to be apart from a spouse, a child, or mom and dad. We hear that. That's why we're bringing in a limited exemption to allow immediate family members of citizens or permanent residents to come to Canada. I want to be clear, though. Anyone entering the country will be required to quarantine for 14 days. And if you don't follow these rules, you could face serious penalties. I know that Minister Mendicino will have more to say about all of this later today.
ओंटारियो ਦੇ ਲੌਂਗ ਟਰਮ ਕੇਅਰ ਹੋਮਸ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਅੱਜ 83 ਆਊਟਬ੍ਰੇਕਸ ਡਿਕਲੇਅਰ ਕੀਤੇ ਗਏ ਹਨ। ओंटारियो ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਅੱਜ 243 ਨਵੇਂ ਕੇਸਿਸ ਰਿਪੋਰਟ ਹੋਏ ਹਨ ਅਤੇ 5 ਡੈਥਸ ਹੋਰ ਕਨਫਰਮ ਹੋਈਆਂ ਹਨ। ओंटारियो ਪ੍ਰੀਮੀਅਰ ਡਗਫੋਰਡ ਵੱਲੋਂ ਅੱਜ ਟੋਰਾਂਟੋ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਮੀਡੀਆ ਨੂੰ ਸੰਬੋਧਨ ਕਰਦਿਆਂ ਸਟੇਜ 2 ਦੀ ਰੀਓਪਨਿੰਗ ਪਲਾਨ ਦੀ ਜਾਣਕਾਰੀ ਦਿੱਤੀ ਗਈ। ਪ੍ਰੀਮੀਅਰ ਡਗਫੋਰਡ ਨੇ ਕਿਹਾ ਕਿ ਸਟੇਜ 2 ਸ਼ੁੱਕਰਵਾਰ ਤੋਂ ਲਾਗੂ ਹੋਏਗੀ, ਜਿਸ ਅਧੀਨ ਲੋਕਲ ਗੈਦਰਿੰਗਸ ਨੂੰ 5 ਤੋਂ ਵਧਾ ਕੇ 10 ਕਰ ਦਿੱਤਾ ਗਿਆ ਹੈ। ਇਸ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਹੀ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਕਿਹਾ ਕਿ ਵਰਸ਼ਿਪ ਪਲੇਸ 30% ਦੀ ਕੈਪੈਸਿਟੀ ਉੱਤੇ ਖੁੱਲ ਸਕਦੀਆਂ ਹਨ, ਪਰ ਫਿਜ਼ੀਕਲ ਡਿਸਟੈਂਸਿੰਗ ਮੈਜਰਸ ਲਾਜ਼ਮੀ ਹੋਣਗੇ। ਇਸ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਹੀ ਕਮਰਸ਼ੀਅਲ ਇਵਿਕਸ਼ਨਸ ਉੱਤੇ ਵੀ ਬੈਨ ਲਗਾਇਆ ਗਿਆ ਹੈ।
I know we're all eager to get things back to normal. And no one wants to get the economy going and get people back to work more than I do. And that means having a responsible plan. It means taking the best scientific advice and working together with our partners. It means recognizing that the situation is different in different parts of Ontario. It means moving cautiously but decisively. And most importantly, it means doing everything necessary to keep people safe as we reopen. And today, we're taking the next step. It starts this Friday, June the 12th, at 12:01 a.m., with increasing the limits on social gatherings from 5 to 10 people. I know that staying apart from our friends and loved ones has been one of the hardest parts of the last few months. And hopefully today's announcement will bring some relief. I also know that for so many of us, the restrictions around places of worship have been extremely hard. During these uncertain times, our faith has never been more important. That's why I've asked that places of worship across the province be able to reopen as of June the 12th at 12:01 a.m. at 30% building capacity. These are important steps to getting life back to normal. But we also need to get people back to work. We need to get the economy going, and to do this as quickly as possible. We're moving forward with a regional approach, and we're moving forward with an approach that lets us make decisions for specific parts of Ontario based on what's happening on the ground, based on the advice of the Chief Medical Officer of Health, our command table, and our local public health experts. Most regions in Ontario will be allowed to proceed to stage 2 this Friday, June the 12th. We will continue to keep a close eye on regions that will not open this Friday, and we need just a little more time. We will continue talking to local officials who are playing a critical role in determining what areas can open, and I am confident that the rest of the province will get to stage 2 very, very soon. And the good news is stage 2 will allow people to resume many parts of their daily life. Wedding venues and religious places of worship will be able to host wedding ceremonies with a 10-person limit. drive-in and drive-through venues for theaters, concerts, animal attractions, and art installations, beauty salons, hairdressers, barber shops, day spas, and other personal care services, with the exception of facial services. Indoor shopping malls, with the food courts restricted to takeout. Restaurants and bars will be allowed to open their patios. Summer day camps will be able to open as well. More camping at Ontario parks and private campgrounds, as well as beach access. Libraries, community centres, museums, and galleries with physical distancing and capacity limits. Tour and guide services, including bike, walking, and bus tours. Recreational amenities, including splash pads, wading pools and swimming pools, and training for outdoor team sports. And tomorrow, we'll release our plan to reopen childcare to support parents returning to work. And for the regions that must wait a little longer, I ask you please remain patient. We will get there soon. My friends, we're making progress. It's a sign we're on the right track. And for many small business owners, today's announcement is good news because our small businesses are struggling right now. And for them, making rent is top of mind. That's why we work to get $900 million to help businesses with commercial rent relief. And as I was clear with commercial landlords, you have to be fair and help out everyone. But we still heard about some landlords who just didn't get the message. Well, I'm here for the little guy. That's why I've ordered legislation to ban commercial evictions for those who qualify for the commercial rent relief program. The ban would take effect for evictions on or after June the 3rd and last until August 31st. Our small business owners are the backbone of our communities. And now, more than ever, we all need to support them. So please, get out there, buy local. Support your local small businesses. We all need to support others right now. And together, we will come back stronger than ever before.
इस मौके ओंटारियो दी डिप्टी प्रीमियर ਅਤੇ ਹੈਲਥ ਮਿਨਿਸਟਰ ਕ੍ਰਿਸਟੀਨ ਏਲੀਅਟ, ਮਿਨਿਸਟਰ ਆਫ ਫਾਈਨਾਂਸ ਰॉड ਫਿਲਿਪਸ, ਮਿਨਿਸਟਰ ਆਫ ਇਕਨੋਮਿਕ ਡਿਵੈਲਪਮੈਂਟ ਵਿਕ ਫਿਡੇਲੀ ਅਤੇ ਮਿਨਿਸਟਰ ਆਫ ਲੇਬਰ ਮੈਕਨੋਡਨ ਵੀ ਖਾਸ ਤੌਰ ਤੇ ਹਾਜ਼ਰ ਸਨ। ओंटारियो ਦੀ ਡਿਪਟੀ ਪ੍ਰੀਮੀਅਰ ਅਤੇ ਹੈਲਥ ਮਿਨਿਸਟਰ ਕ੍ਰਿਸਟੀਨ ਏਲੀਅਟ ਨੇ ਐਲਾਨ ਕੀਤਾ ਕਿ ਬੇਸ਼ੱਕ ਸ਼ੁੱਕਰਵਾਰ ਤੋਂ ਕੁਝ ਰੈਸਟੋਰੈਂਟਸ ਖੁੱਲ ਰਹੇ ਹਨ, ਪਰ ਗ੍ਰੇਟਰ ਟੋਰਾਂਟੋ ਏਰੀਆ ਅਤੇ ਪੀਲ, ਹਾਲਟਨ ਤੇ ਯਾਰਕ ਰੀਜਨ ਸਣੇ ਬਾਰਡਰ ਏਰੀਆਜ਼ ਜਿਵੇਂ ਕਿ ਨਾਇਗਰਾ ਫਾਲਸ ਅਤੇ ਵਿੰਜ਼ਰ ਦੇ ਰੈਸਟੋਰੈਂਟਸ ਨੂੰ 19 ਜੂਨ ਤੱਕ ਫਿਲਹਾਲ ਰੁਕਣਾ ਹੋਏਗਾ।
Because of the considerable and ongoing efforts of all Ontarians to stop the spread of COVID-19, many regions of the province have met the criteria to move to the next stage of reopening, including an improvement in public health trends as testing has been significantly scaled up, as well as maintaining hospital capacity to respond to any spikes in cases or outbreaks. As we know, different regions of Ontario have experienced COVID-19 differently. In response, we are taking a regional approach that recognizes that in many areas of the province, it is safe to ease restrictions and reopen more businesses. Indeed, in some areas, there have been fewer or no new cases of this virus in recent days and weeks. That is why most of the province's 34 public health units will transition to Stage 2 this Friday. However, where we haven't seen our public health criteria met, and in consultation with local medical officers of health, certain public health units will remain in the first stage. That includes those that make up the Golden Horseshoe: Durham, York, Toronto, Peel, Halton, Hamilton, and Niagara, as well as border regions, Windsor, Essex, and Lambton, as we continue to keep a close eye on essential travelers. Haldimand, Norfolk will also remain in Stage 1 until we are confident that the impacts of an outbreak are contained and don't extend into the broader community. I recognize the desire for more communities to move forward, for more families to get back to work. That is why our government will make more resources available to support the extensive efforts already underway to stop the spread of COVID-19. In doing so, we will ensure that every region of Ontario continues to gradually reopen. As we continue to monitor local trends, every Monday the province will provide a progress report on the public health units remaining in the first stage. If public health indicators improve at a local level, regions will be given the green light to enter Stage 2 that following Friday. This includes lower rates of transmission in local communities, increased capacity in hospitals, and continued progress in testing. Our gradual regional approach will help ensure we build on our successes as a province while ensuring we continue to protect the health and safety of all Ontarians.
Stage 2 of the second phase is another stop on the journey set out in a framework to reopen our province. The roadmap we outlined on April the 27th to safely get the people of Ontario back to work. The journey isn't over. In fact, as restrictions are lifted, personal responsibility will be more important than ever to avoid a step backwards. But we have every reason to be confident and to trust each other. Since the essential business list was announced in March, people and employers have demonstrated incredible patience and leadership by following the public health advice and guidance necessary to keep each other safe. This has continued since we entered Stage 1 of the second phase and has made me confident that we are on the right course. No plan is perfect, but this is new terrain for all of us, and we're in it together. You have trusted your government to do what is necessary to contain this global pandemic. But the trust is a two-way street. We trust you to continue acting responsibly, look out for each other, and do your part to stop the spread. This has saved lives, and keeping it up will get more people back to work sooner. Stage 2 of the second phase means we'll be able to dine safely on the patio of our favorite restaurant or go to the shopping mall. Since announcing a framework to reopen our province, Ontario's Jobs and Recovery Committee has been working with the health and scientific experts to reopen the province as soon as it's safe to do so. Our regional approach to Stage 2 is going to safely get more people back to work as soon as possible. We've been talking to business and labor leaders, nonprofits, municipalities, and members of cultural and faith communities to understand their unique needs. We are grateful for their input. It has informed every step we've taken on our reopening plan. And we are grateful for people's patience. I know that anxiety remains, and these unprecedented times can be confusing. The people of Ontario have every reason to be confident as we step into Stage 2 of the second phase. The health and long-term well-being of our province will continue to guide every decision we make and every step in our plan. The people of Ontario have acted responsibly throughout the global pandemic. I'm confident that will continue in Stage 2 and beyond. Our collective health and the economic recovery depends on it.
इन फोकस ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਫਿਲਹਾਲ ਸਮਾਂ ਹੋ ਗਿਆ ਹੈ ਇੱਕ ਛੋਟੀ ਜੀ ਬ੍ਰੇਕ ਦਾ। ਬ੍ਰੇਕ ਤੋਂ ਬਾਅਦ ਵੀ ਸਾਡੀ ਇੱਕ ਖਾਸ ਪੇਸ਼ਕਸ਼ ਜਾਰੀ ਰਹੇਗੀ। ਬਣੇ ਰਹੋ ਸਾਡੇ ਨਾਲ, ਜਲਦ ਹਾਜ਼ਰ ਹੁੰਦੇ ਹਾਂ। ਬ੍ਰੇਕ ਤੋਂ ਬਾਅਦ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਸਾਰਿਆਂ ਦਾ ਇੱਕ ਵਾਰੀ ਫਿਰ ਤੋਂ ਸਵਾਗਤ ਹੈ। ओंटेरियो सरकार वालों सूबे दे लोकां लई ट्रांसपोर्टेशन नूं होर आसान बनाउण वास्ते नवां सिग्नेचर सबवे प्रोजैक्ट इंट्रोड्यूस कीता गया है, जिस संबंधी होर जानकारी लई साडे नाल लाइन ते मौजूद हन ओंटेरियो दे एसोसिएट मिनिस्टर ऑफ ट्रांसपोर्टेशन किंगा सुरमा। हेलो मिनिस्टर सुरमा, थैंक यू सो मच फॉर ज्वाइनिंग PDC Punjabi.
Thank you for having me.
Minister, as we know that Ontario has introduced a new signature subway project, and this is the largest subway expansion in Ontario's history. Can you please share the information, how many contracts are involved and who will design, build and maintain this subway line?
Of course. So this procurement request for qualifications that went out today, this morning, is for the Ontario line. The Ontario line is a 15-kilometer stretch from Exhibition Place all the way up to the Science Centre through the city. And so what this is we've broken it up into several packages, 3 packages as well as an early works program. And we're doing this because it's such a complex line. It goes underground through Toronto and above ground in certain areas. It's 15 kilometers in length. We want to make sure that the procurement is successful and that we have lots of competitive bids come through. So we've broken it up into 3 packages as well as an additional early works package.
How many stations will be there and will it be connected to the local GO Transit and streetcars?
Yes, it will. So there's 3 GO Rail connections, one at Exhibition Place, one at Union Station, and one at East Harbor. Obviously, as it goes up through the city, it'll also have 15 stations. So it will connect to busing as well as streetcars in the city of Toronto as well.
How can companies interested in the project can apply and what will be the evaluation process?
Well, they can apply through the Ontario and website and the Merck's website. That is where all of the procurements are posted for companies. And so we would highly encourage companies that are interested to do work to participate. And just so all your viewers are aware, we actually have 2 requests for qualifications already out in the system. One for the Eglinton West extension, which will eventually connect to the airport, as well as the 3-stop Scarborough subway, which I know is very, very important to the people of Scarborough. So we're in a unique situation, of course, with a pandemic and a virus, but we know how important transportation and transportation infrastructure is to the people in the Greater Toronto Area. And we want this procurement to go well so we can start building and so we can get people back to work safely and focus on economic recovery.
Well, this is a very good initiative and good news for Torontonians. When do you expect to finish this project and what will be the total cost?
Well, the request of qualifications that we've put out today will be a very good indicator to us. We want to build as quickly as possible. We've released timelines for our various lines included in our transit plan, and we want to build as quickly as possible. But we do understand that it's hard to really measure the effects of the virus, of the pandemic across the world. Keep in mind that we're asking companies from all over the world to compete for these 3 or 4 packages for the Ontario line. And so this will be a very good indicator for us. But we also want to show to the market that we're very serious. We're serious about infrastructure projects in the province of Ontario. We know how important they are to getting people back to work safely and to the economic vitality of the province of Ontario.
Minister Surma, we know that during this global pandemic, provinces are struggling to save the economy. What do you think, how will this project help in bringing the economy back to normal?
Well, thousands of jobs. We're talking about tunneling a huge segment, 15-kilometer segment in the city of Toronto. We're talking about utility works, bridge expansions, geotechnical drilling, engineering, civil works. We're talking about a lot of jobs that are going to be there for the people of this great province. And this is just 1 out of 4 key lines. Like I said, we have requests for qualifications on the Eglinton expansion as well as Scarborough. And so there will be a lot of work here in the province of Ontario when it comes to infrastructure projects and transportation projects.
Minister, any plans to extend the transportation between Peel region and Toronto? Because we know most of the young population of Canada resides in Peel region and most of the people work in Toronto. They live in Peel region but they work in Toronto, and right now the fastest mode of transportation is only GO train.
Yes, absolutely. We have 29 construction projects across the province of Ontario. To reach our goal of 2-way all-day GO. We know how important it is. I used to take the GO to get to downtown Toronto, and when I would go to the Etobicoke North Station, it was already packed from people from Kitchener and from Brampton region, so I certainly understand. One of the benefits of the Eglinton Crosstown West extension is that it is going to connect to Mississauga Transit at Renforth. That is a very good connection to have. There are a lot of people that go back and forth, like you say, and want to have access, easy access to Mississauga and to the city of Toronto. So in terms of improving regional transit, the Eglinton Crosstown, once built, is really going to help move people from Mississauga to Toronto and from Toronto to Mississauga. Mississauga is my neighbor. So I represent a riding where a lot of residents do travel to Mississauga and back. So I certainly understand that challenge.
Minister Surma, in 2019, Ontario government announced a new transportation vision with an estimated cost of $29.5 billion. Where are we on that?
Well, we certainly have allocated the funding provincially. We have nominated these projects to the federal government, and we have, in every single discussion that Minister Mulrooney has with her federal counterpart, she is always advocating for federal funding from the federal government at minimum of 40%. So this would be through the Canada Infrastructure Investment Fund, and large-scale infrastructure projects like the subway transit plan that we have proposed usually have funding from all three levels of government. As you know, we've worked very closely with the City of Toronto. We have a historic partnership that we formed. The City of Toronto endorsed our preliminary agreement to continue to move forward just this past February, as well as York Region just a couple of weeks ago as well. So our municipal partners are very much supportive of this. Mayors are as well. And so now we're just gently urging the federal government to please provide their 40% of these transit lines, because we know this will be a game changer for the city. It will help reduce a lot of the crowding, especially the Ontario line. It will help reduce a lot of the crowding on the Yonge line, at Union Station, at Bloor and Yonge. And so this is absolutely necessary. And I think now, in a time more than ever where people don't want to be in environments where there's crowding, we need to really continue to invest in our public transit system.
Well, we know that due to this global pandemic, health and government officials are continuously urging people to stay home and stay safe. What message you have for our viewers?
Well, just thank you very much. And I know that this is a difficult time, and everyone's been so wonderful and so patient, listening to the Premier's advice every day at 1 or 2 o'clock. And just know that we are working around the clock. Even during this pandemic situation, we still move forward with all of these projects, and there's an immense amount of work that goes into this. And we just, we're very grateful, and we hope that everyone is safe and healthy, of course.
All right, Minister Surma, thank you for joining PTC Punjabi. It was nice talking to you. Please stay safe.
Thank you. Have a good day.
ਸੋ ਇਨ ਫੋਕਸ ਦੇ ਅੱਜ ਦੇ ਐਪੀਸੋਡ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਇਹ ਸਨ ਅੱਜ ਦੀਆਂ ਤਾਜ਼ਾ ਖਬਰਾਂ। ਕੋਵਿਡ-19 ਅਪਡੇਟਸ ਅਸੀਂ ਲਗਾਤਾਰ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਤੱਕ ਪਹੁੰਚਾਉਂਦੇ ਰਹਾਂਗੇ। ਜੇਕਰ ਤੁਹਾਡਾ ਕੋਈ ਸਵਾਲ ਹੈ ਜਾਂ ਕੋਈ ਕੰਸਰਨ ਹੈ ਤੇ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਈਮੇਲ ਕਰੋ feedback@ptcnetwork.com ਤੇ। ਮਿਲਾਂਗੇ ਅਗਲੇ ਹਫਤੇ। ਉਦੋਂ ਤੱਕ ਦਿਓ ਇਜਾਜ਼ਤ। ਧੰਨਵਾਦ।